What is up, everybody, and welcome to another NFL prediction video. This video will be for week 6 of the NFL season. As you can see above me, our new record is 43-35, which means last week we went 4-10. 4-10. Yes, I said that right. 4-10. A very bad week. Let me just go over last week real quick. So obviously the Giants lost to the Saints. I mean, that game could have went either way, like I said, but the Giants losing to the Saints, nobody probably would have guessed that. The Eagles did lose to Denver. Probably nobody would have guessed that. I did pick Baltimore to win over Houston because for some reason in my head, I'm pretty sure I knew that Lamar Jackson wasn't going to play, but for some reason in my head, I thought they were still good enough to win. But I obviously did not know of all the other injuries they had. I only knew about Lamar Jackson, so that's on me. Tennessee beat Arizona. Who would have funked that? I think I took Seattle to beat Tampa Bay. I don't know. I don't remember why. And then I took the Chargers to beat Washington. That didn't happen. And then obviously New England beating Buffalo. Nobody would have thought that. And then Kansas City losing to Jacksonville. So last week was a very weird week. I did say the Eagles always seem to lose one game that they shouldn't lose every season. And I said I don't think it would be to Denver. And it ended up being to Denver. So, but let's get into this week. We're going to have a great week this week. And last week won't even matter. But I obviously did mess up my record pretty bad. But let's get into it. Tonight, the Eagles do face the Giants. For some reason, I thought that this was in Philly, but now I'm seeing that it's at the Giants, which I don't think will make a big difference, but we'll see. Eagles obviously coming off a hard loss. The Giants also coming off a loss. I obviously got to go with my team here. I got to go with the Birds. Let me make that a little better. Okay, so I got to go with my Birds. I think the Eagles win this pretty easily, actually. I'm hoping, I'm praying that the offense gets it together because I do not want to lose players because of them being not happy. I just don't want that to happen. So I'm hoping AJ Brown just has like a monster game. If he's gonna, I think it'll be this week against the Giants. They don't have a good defense. Like they have a good defensive line, obviously, but they don't have great corners. So, and most of their wide receivers are also hurt. So, the Broncos versus the Jets, the morning game. I gotta go with the Broncos. They're coming off a huge victory over the Eagles. The Jets, I don't think the Jets have even won a game yet this season, so I gotta go with the Broncos. Seattle versus Jacksonville. This one's pretty hard. And obviously, like I forgot to mention, my parlay did not hit last week because the Eagles lost and the Giants lost. So been on a little bit of a rough streak with that, but not in my other bets. I will say that I hit a pretty big parlay this last week. Seattle versus Jacksonville. This one's kind of hard. Jacksonville obviously coming off that win over Kansas City. Seattle coming off a win over, or a loss actually against Tampa Bay. I'm actually gonna go Jacksonville. Chargers Dolphins. I gotta go Chargers. Rams versus Baltimore. I think Lamar is still gonna be out. Let me check. Lamar. Let me just double check real quick. He's questionable. I'm just gonna say that I'm just gonna go with the Rams. Cardinals, Colts. I gotta go Colts. Dallas, Panthers. I gotta go I gotta go Cowboys. Obviously the Colts. They are looking really good. Dallas isn't gonna lose to the Panthers unless something weird happens. But Patriots, Saints. I gotta go Patriots. to beat the Saints. I can't pick the Saints. I just can't. Even though they won last week against the Giants are trash. So, Browns versus Steelers. I have to go with the Steelers. Titans, Raiders. Trash versus trash. I'm going to go with the... I got to go Raiders there. 49ers, Tampa. I'm going to go Tampa. Bengals, Packers. I'm going to go Packers. Joe Flacco should be starting for the Bengals, but I don't think it's going to make a difference against the Packers. It might. We'll see. Lions versus the Chiefs. I'm going to have to go with the Lions. I just think the Lions are better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs, you know, they do not look like the Chiefs, man. Something is up with that team right now, but I don't know what it is. Bills versus Falcons. I'm going to have to go Bills. And on Monday night, well, that's on Monday night. And then the other Monday night game, Bears versus Washington, I'm going to have to go with Washington. So there you have it. That is my week 6 picks. Hopefully we have a better week than last week. Let's do our 5-team parlay. We're going to go with... Let's do Chargers for 1. Dallas over Cardinals for 2. Let's do Steelers over Browns for... Actually, let's not do Steelers versus Browns. Let's do no, I'm not going to do it Thursday night because that's too soon. Let's do Broncos over Jets for 3. Let's do Packers over Bengals for 4, and then we need one more. Let's do Bills over Falcons for 5. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully the parlay hits and we win some money. And I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully my record is a lot better this week. But I'll see you later. Bye.